Hello channel viewers, I am DS, your psychologist, and welcome to another episode on Channel NITT. In this episode, we are going to talk about the concept of pseudoscience. So, many people actually believe that MBTI is a pseudoscience. So in other words, whether something is a pseudoscience is a fact, not an opinion. So people who actually believe that MBTI is a pseudoscience is exercising a very uneducated point of view. You can believe that MBTI does not work, but MBTI is not a pseudoscience because MBTI can be shown to be falsified. So we come to that matter later. So what is a pseudoscience? Religion is an example of a pseudoscience. One characteristic of a pseudoscience is that it goes in a circular argument. That means to say it cannot be proven, neither can it be falsified. So take for example, I believe in God, and then I pray to God. I say, God help me please, God help. And I pray to God, God help me please, God help me please. And then I got help the next day. So I say, God, you are great, you help me, you exist. Thank you, God. But on the other hand, if your God did not help you, then you will come up with another excuse to justify why your God did not help you. You may say, okay, God has better plans for me. So this goes into a circular argument. Regardless of what happens, whether you are helped or whether you are not helped, your God still exists. So in other words, God cannot be falsified, and therefore God and religion as a concept is considered a pseudoscience. This, however, does not mean that God does not exist. It just means that science is unable to prove it using scientific methods. So a very well-known pseudoscience in psychology is that of Freudian principles. So Freud believes in things like the unconscious, the id, the superego, and that of repression. So Freud also believes in the concept of Oedipus complex. He believes that every boy, when they were about 3 to 6 years old, actually had secret romantic fantasies for their own mothers. If you can find evidence for it, good. Freud's hypothesis has been proven. However, if you cannot find evidence for it, Freud will tell you that all the memories have been repressed. That's why you cannot find it. So in any way, Freud will always win. So this is a pseudoscience for sure. So another pseudoscience that we know of is that of the NLP. So in neuro-linguistic programming, participants are actually taught strategies and techniques for them to attract what they really want. So similar to the argument of God, if it happens, NLP exists. NLP is good. However, if the techniques do not bring you the results that you want, then the argument is you did not try hard enough. So in any case, NLP always wins. So if you follow this argument, which is a circular argument, then you know that NLP is a pseudoscience. So in the field of psychology, psychologists will always reject NLP as a mainstream branch of psychology because NLP is a pseudoscience. However, as we have discussed in the example of God, a pseudoscience is just something that cannot be proven by science. It does not mean that it does not exist. So definitely you can find a lot of psychologists, a lot of scientists who are very religious. So there is no conflict in this area. So science and faith can definitely coexist. However, with the understanding of what a pseudoscience really is, we hope that you understand that certain arguments are always winning because it is circular in argument. So earlier we talked about MBTI as a pseudoscience. MBTI is not a pseudoscience because MBTI can be shown by scientific methods, statistical methods, whether it is true. So a lot of people may say that MBTI has very low test-retest reliability. So what is test-retest reliability? Just to give you a very quick example, if a person does the MBTI test in June and 6 months later in December does it again, sometimes it's possible that the person gives 2 different results. And actually it is very possible. So the self-report system of the MBTI type has this flaw because your self-report can be very inconsistent. But if you were to get a profiler to do your profiling professionally, then it may be less likely that there is this kind of a shift. Sometimes the shift can be very wide. You can go from an ENTP to an ISTJ or something like that. And most of the alphabets can change abruptly. So this is why there are a lot of people who argue that MBTI is bullshit. However, this is also because they do not understand MBTI at all. Just like if you never studied psychology or you did psychology but didn't do well in a psychology subject, then you have no basis of arguing like a psychologist, saying things like MBTI is bullshit, okay? Sidetrack, a lot of people, because they live for 40 to 50 years, want to believe that they are psychologists. So here, back to the topic of MBTI as a pseudoscience, you can definitely test it. So for example, one of the possible tests that I can think of is using the chi-square method. So let's say I say that P-type individuals are people who are more likely to be unable to delay gratification. They are also less resilient. They are also unable to keep to promises. So you can definitely take people and do a chi-square distribution test. We have done one episode on that before, and that itself can show whether reliably you can sort people into J types and P types, and also into other domains such as the sensing and the intuitive. So MBTI can be proven to be true or can be proven to be false. So it can be false definitely, but because it can be proven to be either true or false, definitely it is not a pseudoscience. A pseudoscience is something that cannot be falsified. So we hope that you have learned something in this episode. Surely this episode is going to offend some people. Please dislike. Because I learned that disliking a video also helps in promoting the video. Please dislike. And of course, if you have liked this video, do like as well. And I look forward to your comments. If you are new to the channel, do consider subscribing so that we can bring you more MBTI, psychology and fun stuff. Okay, I am going to sign off now, and I'll see you in our next episode. Bye bye.